currency exchange-induced naira shortage. Finally, NLC, has waded into the fray and has said that if nothing is done to ameliorate that situation, NLC is actually calling for a nationwide, I don't know, terminologies were used such as picketing, but the NLC president, you might have seen it on a social media viral video, was that by Wednesday next week, picketing will begin. Well, my guest is Comrade Fumi Sesi. She's chair of NLC Lagos State Chapter. A fine morning to you, Madam Chair.
Good morning, Mr. Yori Folani, and good morning to Nigerians and viewers at home. Thank
you very much. Usually when we see you, it's because there's some issue in the polity, in the society, usually. And this is a very, very important one. Because among the things I had heard was that everybody knows that it's been very, very hard for the ordinary Nigerian ever since this currency exchange caper started. Now NLC has waded into it because workers, we hear, cannot even afford to get themselves to work anymore, and all the other attendant issues that just about everybody viewing this who is not a multimillionaire, billionaire, knows about. So how long have you been looking at this, and what do you expect government to react? Because are you going to sort of shut it all down? That is labor. Is NLC going to, the Nigerian Labour Congress, shut it all down next week?
Yeah, very well. You know, this action is long overdue. But because we just don't want to rock the boat, we wanted the electoral processes to be over so that nobody will come and place any blame at the doorstep of Nigeria Labour Congress that probably we truncated, or probably NLC was sponsored by any party or by anyone. That was why we allowed for the peaceful electoral processes to be concluded. But having done that, and we have also seen, last week, the leadership of NLC, they gave a 7 days ultimatum to Nigerian government to ensure that there is a cash flow everywhere in the nation. But we have seen that this government, they are no longer ready to do anything to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians. So for these reasons, the 7 days has come and has passed, and it is like they have dared Nigerians, not only the workers, Nigerians are suffering. And I believe that we will gain the support of every Nigerian, because we have come out not only to fight for the workers, but to also be the voice for every Nigerian in this situation. We are all facing it. And it's a situation that Nigeria Labour Congress, being an organized sector, and this is what we always do, to come in when we are mostly needed. So we are coming in, and it's going to be a total shutdown from next week. By next week, Wednesday, by the special grace of God, the federal government and central bank, being who we know them to be, they will be playing a dilly-dallying game or hide-and-seek game. Continuing that hide-and-seek game, we will know whether it's Nigerians that hold this country or a central bank that will hold us to ransom. We will know by next week, Wednesday.
Okay, and maybe that's a fine point at which we can hear from, actually listen to the video that was put out by the president of NLC, Comrade Joe Ajaybo.
From this week, from Friday, there will be mobilization of all state councils through a NEC meeting. All unions have already been directed to mobilize all their organs and their branches by Wednesday next week. All central bank from the CBN headquarters will be shut till further notice. Workers are directed to stay at home and join in the picketing exercise.
So that's the NLC president there summarizing.
That's my president.
Summarizing how we should move. Of course, I think it goes without saying that if indeed the situation is addressed before that time. You smile, comrade. That means you're not holding your breath, right?
Well, let's give the evidence of doubt to the central bank, because having given them 7 days and they failed to address the issue, to do the needful. So we don't trust the central bank, most especially the leadership of the central bank. Emefiele, we don't trust him. He's somebody that we have already lost our
Have you
trust.
engaged with him? Have you engaged with him and before you formed this decision?
We have engaged with him in every way. You know, he reads newspapers, he listens to news, and the issue also is a human being and he's in our society. He doesn't live outside the country, he lives here, and he should know what Nigerians are feeling, unless he is living out of where everybody lives in Nigeria. So, having said that, sir, you've heard what my president has said. We've also given the red flag to all the affiliate unions. NLC has about 57 affiliate unions to start the mobilization. On Wednesday, nobody will be allowed to go to any work. Rather, we will all go and work at the
We're going to be picketing the central bank offices up
exactly.
and down the land.
So we are
which means you're not going to be allowing people in, or for that matter, people out.
It's going to be a total shutdown. That's what it means.
Okay.
We will close down all the central bank offices. I think they have 2 in Lagos. We've identified the Lagos own around Agidingbi. And then that one at the broad street in Lagos.
Regional headquarters.
Yes, we also take over the place. That is what it means. So if they cannot serve Nigerians, if they cannot do the work that they are supposed to do, then there is no need for them to be, to open the offices on daily basis. Let us close it down and let us know that for now, central bank has failed us and we no longer have the trust in the leadership of central bank. From there, we will take the next step.
Okay, we're taking calls as well, and Mr. George in Lagos has called in. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yari.
Good morning.
Good morning, NLC, Madam there.
Comrade Sesi.
Well, Uncle Yari, it's very, very unfortunate that the President Buhari, that this is the way he wants to end his tenure. Everything has been done to show him that he has been misadvised on this subject. He refused to listen. Look at the suffering of Nigerians. I'm even surprised that the NLC was this patient up to this point. What is happening on Gary? It shows that many of our leaders do not know what happens to the people that they lead. People don't have money. You have money in your bank and you cannot have it to spend. How do you eat? How do you feed your children? And you want people, what do you want them to do? The Supreme Court of the land says, release the money. One man is just holding us to ransom. It is time to tell Mr. Emefiele that he is governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, not governor of Central Bank of Emefiele.
Okay.
I'm totally in support of the NLC move. We will join them on the streets.
Well, thank you very much for calling
Thank
in,
you.
Mr. George. You know, there are many people that are still talking about this particular saga here. The central bank governor, of course, you know, he's in charge of monetary policy and all of that. But then it is also known that he's not going to be acting independently. So if, for instance, the president was against this suffering, Emefiele would not be standing his ground and continuing if the president actually understood the suffering, the real suffering of the people. But they are in this kind of a situation, Emefiele is the guy who's going to get thrown under the bus.
Yeah, he's
the person who will be
he has
thrown
to
under the
take
bus.
responsibility because he is the expert in that area. And he is supposed to be the one that we advised. He is the one that's supposed to advise the president properly. You understand? And he is the one that's supposed to also talk about the policy, how it affects the people or either positively or negatively. He is supposed to advise appropriately, not negatively. For this negative impact on our economy, on our social life, on our psychological being, on our social being, on our physical, has committed a grievous offense against Nigerian citizens.
Okay, so
Himself and his principal, even though the buck stops on the table of the president of the country, because he's supposed to, not only Emefiele that should be his economic team, he's supposed to have an economic team that will review whatever policy that comes from any of all the sector. So if the economic team deem it fit to see the aftermath effect of the currency change at this particular time, honestly, they're supposed to, feel the pains Nigerians we've been feeling.
As you know, a number of states took the federal government to court on this whole matter.
Exactly.
And the Supreme Court, no less, there is no court above the Supreme Court. They have actually ruled
that we continue to spend the old currency until December.
Exactly, side by side with the new currency.
So how many of those old currency have we seen in Nigeria?
And
how many of it have we seen in circulation? And that is why Nigeria Labour Congress, our patience has already been taken for a ride. We've already exhausted our patience, and we can no longer fold our arms and pretend that all is well. We have already said it, that the reason why we abated a little bit was for us not to truncate the electoral processes, so that no one will come and blame NLC
and say
for
what is and said is
exactly working for opponent or opposition or whatever. But now that all the electoral processes is over, we are ready to ensure that Nigerians, they get what they deserve. Okay. We don't deserve this from this administration.
Now, if the president is hearing this, or the president's men are hearing this, of course Emefiele is the guy who's going to be thrown under the bus anyhow. So they'll be listening to all of this. I was wondering, let me come back to you for that.
Okay.
I was wondering whether the Attorney General, since the Supreme Court has ruled, and we have an Attorney General, and this situation is continuing, and we haven't heard from that one. Well, it's an issue. But we have a caller on the line. Where is the call coming from? Mr. Johnson in Port Harcourt.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. You're on air now. Please go ahead.
It's okay. In short, we thank God for this action of Nigeria Labour Congress. Even though it's coming late, Nigerians have really suffered. In Port Harcourt, I saw a man that collapsed because he want to withdraw, want to get access to the bank. There's a bank closer to me which also have an account there. Since I was born about 57 years ago, I've never suffered like that. My children were asking me, Daddy, why are we suffering like this in Nigeria? Because of this CBN action, everything, including pure water, have increased price. We bought currency. The little coins, the little naira in my hand, I bought it. We bought currency, we bought everything, excess. A lot of our money have been earned on internet. All efforts to receive them failed. In the issue of Buhari in this administration, I have not done worse than this. I wish and I call all Nigerians to support Nigeria Labour Congress to make sure we face Central Bank and its principal to the end, so that we will not die in these captivities. Already, Nigerians were in captivities. Nigerians are experiencing the highest suffering that ever come. In short, like I said, we're already in slavery. My prayer, we have been praying, but this is not time to pray. This is the time for action. So I use this opportunity to call on every other one, including students. There is the NASU, other organization, to team up with labor to make sure we push them to the wall so that we can be liberated. I pray that God help us in Jesus' name.
All right. Thank you for calling in. You know, I'm sure NLC must have looked at this very, very keenly because we have heard economists say that, look, some of those objectives, the objectives of the whole currency swap exchange, some of them actually, admirable. They're right. They will be helpful. But the whole way in which this whole currency swap thing was conceptualized and indeed delivered is highly suspect.
So what makes the processes to be right if Nigerians are suffering and people are dying, if people cannot have access to the currency that you said
is the new one?
Is the new one. So does it make any sense? Does it change our situation for better? Does it stop corruption?
There was too much money. There is, I think, too much money in circulation. I don't have the exact figures, but central bank has actually
too much money in the circulation then for those who are wealthy, for those who have it. Even though there were too much money in the circulation, for some Nigerians, the money was not there. They were living from hand to mouth. So it's like you are putting rubbing pepper into already bad situation.
And
feeling.
Comrade, you included yourself.
Yes.
You added we.
Yes, because every month, 30 days make 1 month. So, and we live on salary. And this salary, you have to plan how you spend your money. But since the prices of everything has escalated, even sometimes you do transfer, because we now do electronic banking system.
Yes, we try.
You do transfer, your money will hang. They will hold you again, you do another transfer, until you hear that, sorry, you no longer have any money in your account again.
Well, this thing was rushed.
And then to get access to the banking hall again is another problem. We've seen where people slumped in bank. It happened in some areas. It happens to some of our workers. They slumped where they queue and they died. And this is not what we wish for Nigerians. We wish for Nigerians to have a conducive environment, a conducive situation where everybody will live and will be happy. They will be able to pray for Nigeria and they will be able to pray for our leaders. Is it the same situation today? If they ask you or ask ordinary Nigerians on the street that they should open their mouth and pray for the leadership of Nigeria and pray for central bank governor, can you imagine what will come out from their mouth? That, please, which word do you have to say about the central bank governor, about the leader, the president of this country? They are not leaving a good legacy behind. The legacy that they are leaving behind for Nigerians is a legacy that will make Nigeria to remember them for the wrong reasons.
Okay, Kelly, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, please go ahead now.
Saying they want to call on strike at this time. It has been long overdue. A lot of things have happened. Even people are beginning to get used to this whole thing now. It's just too bad. Though I supported them, it's not just picketing the CBN. They should ask for the resignation of MFLA immediately. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Thank you, Mr. Ayori Folani. I think Nigerians, they should learn to be at least grateful to somebody or to some particular organization for coming out to want to stop the irregularities in our system. They shouldn't come out to castigate NLC or to come and condemn. I'm coming, sir.
Okay.
Because I've already said the times without number, the reasons why NLC is just coming out now. Are we the only particular body or group or organization in Nigeria? We have the Christian Association, we have the Muslim body, we have the right, we have the left, we have civil society groups, we have all groups. Why can't everybody, bring out their voice? For us to come out to say that we want to put a stop to this at this time, Nigerians should learn to appreciate Nigeria Labour Congress.
I think
it's going to be an old fashion, or it's not going to be acceptable to us. For it's like a kind of an insult for us. Even though we're supposed to do everything to ameliorate the problems of the workers. But we are still coming out to ameliorate the problems and the difficulties for all Nigerians. We have said it that the processes of the electoral processes, we don't want it to be truncated. We don't want this government to spend a day longer in the office. We want them to leave on May 28th so that we can have a new fresh idea, a new fresh government that we want to believe will come in with a whole lot of ideas to want to right the wrong, to want to correct.
I hear you.
Yes.
Comrade, I just wonder if there wasn't some misunderstanding there in the sense that that gentleman, Kelly, he said he supports Labour, but his anger, which you've explained already that, look, you might want to feel like that, but we wanted the election to go without a hitch. He's saying that he wanted you to have...
I've explained
yes,
it like three times,
now.
and I don't even... I don't even think...
That guy is in support.
Okay.
Kelly is in support.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kelly. Thank you so much.
He's in support. He's just a bit miffed that the very good reason you gave is like Kelly was so angry.
There are situations that you study. There are
Mm.
some situations on ground
Yeah.
that you have to study before you cannot just see a river and then you jump into it. You have to study the depth of the water.
Yeah.
You have to study the whole situations around you before you just start your actions.
Okay. Mustafa in Katsina, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, please.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, for sparing your time to be with us, and especially Mrs. Fumi, the Labour woman, and
the NLC Lagos chairman, Comrade Fumi Sesi.
Yes, all she said is correct. People have made us to suffer, and MFLA should be sacked immediately.
Okay, all right.
Because they are causing this problem. He's the one causing this problem. They say, do unto you what you like others to do unto you. There is people are suffering. I'm telling you. As I'm talking to you now, you see a lot of lines in banks. And some people even sleep there.
Yeah.
They slept there, and people are not attending to them.
Yeah.
You send, this transfer, and something is not going. And at the end of the day, they will tell you, sorry, that we will reverse this, and it will take them for them to reverse this. Then people are suffering, and God is seeing everybody, honestly speaking.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is this part of the world that there will be a failure in the sector, and yet the person that's supposed to take responsibility will develop a thick skin? If it happens in the Western world that we seems to be copying, they will tender their letter of resignation with immediate effect, even before people will start pulling them. I think there is a process before a process. Let us start the process on Wednesday and see whether Emefiele will be able to survive the heat that is coming to him.
We even know, most Nigerians want to know what exactly has happened here. You say you're withdrawing the old notes from circulation. Central Bank says, hold on, just keep putting those old notes out next to the new notes you people said you are doing. And let that situation be till the last day of the year. It hasn't happened. The Supreme Court is the person who ruled in this way.
Exactly.
Now, we have an Attorney General. So far, you see, you're keeping the Attorney General out of this, you're keeping the President out of this, but it is Emefiele that, everybody is focusing now on Emefiele because of his role. We understand his, role, his constitutional role, but you have not mentioned the Attorney General.
At least somebody must be held responsible. So, exactly. So, in this quagmire that we have been faced with.
Because,
let him come out and tell us the truth. Because it's only the truth that can liberate Emefiele from this problem he has put himself.
Well,
so if himself and his principal are indeed culpable, Emefiele or Emefiele, Mr. Emefiele, come out and tell Nigerians your own side of the story. Because we don't want any other thing, but nothing but the truth. That is the only thing that can save you and save your face from the history, negative history that you have already put your name. Every day, Nigerians, they rain curses on you and your generation. Emefiele, Nigerians rain curses on you and your generation. It will take you years to go and wash your head off, to go and wash those curses that even the children and adults, women, men, they have rained on you and your generation.
Okay. All right. There's a breaking news situation. The governor-elect in Enugu is actually, making a speech right now. So we'll cut to that and come back to studio.
Justice of the last 72 hours. Let me salute the dogged resolve of the people of Enugu State. I must particularly single out the patriotic men and women who, inside rain and skill-pelting sunshine, chose to occupy the INEC office in the last 72 hours. Their resolute resolve pointed at one single cause, that they are in a hurry for Enugu to connect with all the lofty goals that our administration is bringing to bear in our dear state. Let me restate that there can never be a division between Nsukka and Nkanu or any other section of our state. We're all brothers and sisters. Those who attempted to create a wedge between us failed woefully. We were massively voted by every section of the state. Those who wanted to smack our heads together had an ulterior motive, and it was to create perpetual fusing and fighting between us. We resisted them, and today we are coming together stronger. Our resolve thereafter is to pursue the spirit of divisiveness from our state. Since the electioneering process began, though the road was rough, it was obvious that we were not alone on the rough road. At every intersection of the rough road, the Enugu were with us. Collectively, we trudged along with bravery and strength of character. Your presence shielded us from the rough tackles that were aimed at our spine. It is why you, Enugu, are the hero of this victory. You sowed your sweat and prolonged discomfort that earned us this victory. In the hot and torrid sun, you were with us. When the rain, literally and metaphorically, drenched us, you stood by us, offering your clothes to damp our wet apparel. And when it was time to stand and be counted with your votes, Enugu, you did not let us down. The choice you made is clear. You did not go through all those grueling moments for the sake of the fleeting berries of today. You made a huge investment for your tomorrow, for the tomorrow of your children and children's children. You chose to deprive yourselves of the perishable and glittering rewards of now, so that greater tomorrow can come. In choosing us, you did not allow mundane reasons to stop you. You abandoned political party divides, religious denomination cleavages, clan and tribe. All you demanded was a candidate who could guarantee tomorrow for you and generation of Enugu to come. Now, in the Enugu, that tomorrow is here. Let me pledge to you once again that I will serve you and dedicate every of the 1,460 days that make up this initial tenure of office to serving you. I will remember the coerced road you travailed to get us here. In reply, we will speak resoundingly with policies of government that will give you comfort and rest of mind. As I told you during my campaign, the administration we will run will bring joy to your heart. We will make you remember March 18, 2023 with a toothy smile. In infrastructure, health, tourism, education, and development of our state in general, we will run a government that you can be proud of. We're in a hurry to dualize the Ababa, Ugogo Nike, Nsukka Road, build a monorail from Enugu to Nsukka, Udi, and Ogu, and construct a ring road to connect all the 17 local government areas of Enugu State. We're in a hurry to build a world-class theme park in Enugu. We're in a hurry to establish special economic zones in all the senatorial area. And we're also in a hurry to establish special agro-allied processing zone and industrial park in all our senatorial zones. We're in a hurry to unleash the tech talent in our young people and grow and nurture their interest in business and vocations skills. We shall build a school of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, an innovation incubation center, as well as a skill enhancement center in each of the 3 senatorial zones. Ours shall not be an administration by a section of this state, I repeat. We shall run an all-inclusive government designed to provide an inclusive economic development for our dear state. As we bring water to all homes in Enugu metropolis in 180 days of our being sworn in, we shall bring water in the shortest possible time to Nsukka, Oji River, Udi, Ogo, and others too. We shall frontally confront the infrastructural deficit in all parts of the state, and no one will be left behind. Let me at this juncture call on everyone to join me in this task of chiseling a great tomorrow from the rock of a despondent today. In the elections that we ran, we're all winners. No one is a victor, nor is anyone vanquished. The task at hand transcends emotions, politics, and other mundane divides. It is why I extend my hands of fellowship to all my colleagues with whom I ran the gubernatorial election. Our dear state is greater than all of us. Let us come together and give our people a tomorrow that befits their hard work, industry, and ancestry of greatness. Once again, Enugu, I thank you for reposing your trust in me. Together, tomorrow is here. Thank you. Okay, I think we're done.
Okay, so that's Governor-elect PDP's Peter Mba, his acceptance speech brought to you live from Enugu there. We just took a break. No doubt TVC News will keep you updated on anything else, but that was happening live and we were there. In fact, it is continuing. It's a press conference. So in studio here, Comrade Fumi Sesi, Chair, NLC Lagos State Chapter, and we're looking at the notice that they have served that from tomorrow they want all the affiliate unions to begin to mobilize, and all of this will be right through the weekend into Monday, Tuesday, and then by Wednesday there's a strike. There will be a full action proper. But then, this is not politics, but I was going to say 24 hours is a long time in politics, but I don't think this is not politics. So there's plenty of time for something to be done, if it can be done. And that is the worry. Is it, one doesn't know, is government just being stubborn on this matter, or is government unable? We don't know why, because we don't know what's going on. You look at social media, there was a place where I saw a whole sort of a dump. It looked like a refuse dump, but it was shredded old Naira notes.
Those are the questions that Emefiele needs to come out and come and answer to Nigerians, because, you know, all those assertions, let's just say that they are assertions, but let him come out and explain the true situation. So if the situation warrants Nigerians to have some kind of rethink, let him come out and tell us.
Let him tell us something.
Yes, we need to be carried along. We don't need to be put in the dark.
And that's a key point.
Exactly.
Kingsley in Owerri. Good morning to you, sir.
Okay, good morning. Good morning, Uncle Yeri.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Are you listening to me?
We can hear you. Yes, we can.
Yes. My contribution is this. I hate people calling MFLA. You should call Buhari. MFLA is going to Buhari. Yeah, yes. My problem is that I hate people calling MFLA. I hate people calling MFLA. They should call Buhari. He's in charge of the country. We should not turn around. It's not Buhari is the problem. He should instruct MFLA on what to do. That is why the Nigeria is not saying anything. That is why the MFLA is under Buhari. He's not running around. He's not running around. That is the problem in Nigeria. He should put the thing that is in charge. We voted for somebody. We didn't vote for MFLA. Stop calling MFLA. Some people should call Buhari so that we will stop MFLA.
All right.
This is MFLA.
Okay.
Running around, hiding him, accepting him. What calling MFLA? MFLA is not the problem. It's Buhari is the problem.
Okay, it's the president.
I'm sorry. This is we need Nigeria to move forward. We need Nigeria to progress. Somebody is in charge of a particular sector, and somebody is supposed to be an advisor. If you know that Buhari is doing a policy that will also affect you, why can't Emefiele resign? Is that position meant for him to glue himself on that seat? If he knows that that policy is a policy that he does not support, this is your own area. You are the technical person in that area. You are the professional. We will continue to call Emefiele because that area is Emefiele's area. So don't tell us not to call it. We will call Emefiele. Emefiele is culpable. Himself and his principal. We will call them until the needful is done. Or Emefiele, tell him to resign if he knows that he's not part of this mess that we find on ground.
Well, that's another angle to it. If indeed, I see what you're saying.
Exactly. If Emefiele is not part of this,
Emefiele could have pulled out or resigned on principle.
Honorably.
On principle.
On principle, honorably.
Look, this thing
I don't want to be part of it.
But I'm not sure that that is the way Mr. Emefiele feels. That's the point. Everybody's entitled.
So if he's not feeling that way, the way we feel, because we've been put in the dark and we don't even know what is happening, we will continue to call on Emefiele because he's the central bank governor.
Yeah, he is.
And it's the central bank governor that's supposed to release the cash to the commercial banks. That is the normal thing. So we continue. They are not doing that.
Because
so we continue to call on Emefiele. It's not Buhari that is in charge of the central bank.
Morning, Uche.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead now, sir.
Yeah. My own submission is this. I guess the problem is not our problem. It's not NLC, rather Buhari or Emefiele. But the point is that but the point is
Uche, I can't hear you anymore. You said it's not President Buhari. It's not Emefiele. Who is it?
Yes. Then the problem is this. We should have acted first. Then let me say NLC should have acted first to stop the election.
Okay. NLC has said, you've heard comrades say
we can't stop the election because we don't want this government. We don't want this government to stay a day longer in office because we don't want them to extend their day. Their days are numbered. This present government administration will lapse by May 28th. And we want to say bye-bye to this government. We want a new government that will come on board to come and right all the wrongs or to come and bring up a new set of ideas that will move Nigerian forward. Because it's like we have been boxed to a corner now. Nigerians are suffering. We need restitution. We need a government that will bring about an urgent situation that we, start to heal the pains, start to cushion the effects of the heat that we are feeling now. So for you to have, come up with that suggestion, it's your own suggestion. Nigeria Labour Congress does not buy into it. Our own is that we have already taken it low to allow the processes to be concluded so that this government will go with all their baggage and their baggages. We need a good new government, new fresh ideas, and new opportunities.
Even when we get a new government, they're still of the same family. It's still the same party. And you've noticed that not very much has been heard from, if you want, the incoming, the new team. They haven't spoken against
They are not supposed to speak because the power is not yet in their hand. Or you want their situation to be like Awolowo. That when Awolowo was saying that when I become the president, I will do this, I will do that. Or do you want their situation to be like MK Abiola? That was saying that yes, there will be repatriation, this and that, and they never allowed him to get there. So once you don't have the power in your hand, don't ever say that I will do this, I will do that. It is better for you to get that mantle of the power before you start to ascribe. Look at the situations. So it is for them to keep, they are not yet in power. So for them, they have to lie low because of the past antecedent and past situations in the country. Having said that, I have seen a situation where this president-elect has come out to condemn this cash crunch and this policy. In fact, I think it was one of the very first person, I don't know whether other presidential aspirant came out to also condemn the situation. He came out, he said Nigerians are suffering. Let the president or let the government follow the rule of law. The Supreme Court has already ruled that until December 31st, the old note should still be a legal term. Identity is our currency. When I buy something from you, I don't want to know where you are from. I pay you your money, and then the money circulates in the system. If the government cannot let this money circulate in the system, and that means they don't know their work, we will teach them their work on Wednesday.
Benga in Abuja, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori, and good morning to the comrade there. Yeah. I really appreciate his she being articulate and very, very on point. You see, I want to appreciate the NLC that they are waiting for this time to come out so that they will not say they are political, they are after somebody. You see, this policy was conceived. People like me supported it. That we need to go cashless to prevent kidnapping and the rest. And lo and behold, we know that the implementation has no human face. Whatever it is really anti-human. You could see a whole human being, a man that's going naked in the bank because of suffering, because of hardship. Many people have lost their lives. About 10 in all over the country. The youth couple that died in the train, and many others died because of no medication. They could not get money. So the NLC have come at the right time. If the CBN could not give us naira between the time of the delivery of that judgment till now, it showed that they are ill-prepared for this policy. It showed that there's another agenda they have, and that CBN has failed Nigeria. Because the aim of what they were targeting, they could not even fulfill it. Because if you say because you're not able to buy vote in election is over now. Release this money for us. They were after somebody. That person that won the election. Release this money for us. Even to enter a park where you need to pay money, you could not have 100 naira to pay. You will not. This is affecting our economy. It is affecting our businesses. Many farm produce are rotting and damaging the farm because the farmer has no money. Has no account number to transfer to, and the buyer has no means on transfer the money. The one you transfer is in hanging. On Monday, I was made to wait for 45 minutes for somebody to confirm something I paid for. You could not confirm. Let's go another place. The same thing. I have to go back to the first one. 22 hours for something that's not spent 30 minutes. Is killing man hour of Nigeria. People are losing their job because of all these things. Many families are going hungry. Emefiele should do something about this. If not, the whole Nigeria will have petition for him to prosecute it because it's anti-Nigeria. It's anti-human being. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in. From the point of view of most ordinary Nigerians, even if the policy was good, it has been botched by the implementation.
The implementation was wrong. And then it was timely, it was wrongly timed. If you want to change the currency, why did you not change the currency since last year? Why did you not change it since 8 months ago? Why Why is it at the eve or fortnight to the election?
First of all, there's
so
this
you
whole
know
matter.
they were also giving us some kind of excuses that they don't want vote buying, they don't want this. Rightly, as the last caller has said, that they were targeting. That was the belief of, and they also made us to believe it. Okay, now the election is over. Bring out those money. Nobody is buying the vote again. We have already voted our conscience.
And what?
Bring out the money,
and what
please.
A lot of Nigerians are angry about is that this is my money. It's not an award. It is my money.
You won't believe what is happening to Nigeria.
Who was it? Was it Fanikaude or somebody? I don't know.
Someone's money in the bank, and yet you cannot have access to your money. No free access to your money.
I can't remember which gentleman said it was. That this was a matter
see the way we were deceived.
Naira confiscation.
We were deceived that on a particular day, bring all your old notes. We took our old notes, even on a Sunday. After gaining all our old notes, they came out on the evening of that very day that, yes, we will continue to spend the old notes. Can you imagine that?
Reverend Dominic, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Chief.
Nigeria is a failed nation.
No, comrade. I can't believe you said that.
I have to.
No, you can't say that.
Because if it has not failed,
no,
they have failed us.
Reverend Dominic, I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm saying it in this aspect, in many of the sectors. This is what has happened.
No, Nigeria is not a failed nation. I mean, enemies of Nigeria speak like that.
I am not. And I am telling you that our leaders, they're supposed to know where the shoe pinches us on the leg.
Okay.
Many Nigerians have lost their lives.
Okay, but
this is not a matter that people are smiling outside.
But withdraw that Nigeria is a failed nation.
Do I really want to withdraw it?
Please, withdraw that one now. You're an influential figure. How can you say this?
Maybe reluctantly, as you want me to do.
Reverend Dominic, good morning, sir.
Good morning. This is quite what I call frustration to everybody. Madam, you have spoken well. The frustration is on the neck. But, Madam, I would like the NLC, and let me first of all thank the NLC for coming out this time. There's one of my friends who called for us in this program. If NLC had come a week before now, I know my brother George would say, NLC is supporting Labour. They are already one side. Thank God you came at this time, Madam, and we stand at your back. But we must have what they call a bill of demand here. Our bill of demand here is supposed to be three. Emefiele must go. Emefiele must go. Emefiele must go. Even though in African proverb, the servant doesn't speak proverb. Emefiele is a servant. The man who put us in this mess, thank God, 3 months today he will go. We don't want to talk about him again, which even put us, most of us, in a mess. That we suffered pain in Lagos election that day. It was the mess of the Mr. President and the APC that makes us become black in Lagos. Emefiele must go. And this will teach him a lesson. And let me say this, Madam. Don't bother yourself. Immediately, Ashwaji swore in on the 29 May. The speech will be this. Before he preaches a certain speech and is ministering to Nigeria, the first law is that Emefiele must go. Because Emefiele was not elected official. Emefiele was appointed official. He can go at any time. It's our servant. I don't want to blame Emefiele. Emefiele can go this morning. If the person who appoints him, which is Mr. President, enough is enough. The person who put us in this mess is Buhari, but Emefiele must go. We had 2 elephant fight. The ground must suffer it, and the one that must suffer it is Emefiele. And if he don't go from now to the month ending, he must go on 29 May. Mr. President, the new president, incoming president, must sack him. They should time. Let him keep quiet so we get there. But Emefiele must go. And where he will go, when I see him on the road, there's something I will tell you. Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Dominic.
Thank you, Reverend Dominic. I think he has really, spoken my mind to a very reasonable extent. If Emefiele was sent on an errand that will inflict pains on Nigerians, he has options. It's either he says that, no, if as a child they ask you to go and dip your hand inside fire, it is, you take an option, whether you want to really put your hand inside that fire,
but for
or you don't want
from Emefiele's side, Emefiele will probably be saying that, look, everybody's castigating me now, but some tough decisions have to be taken in the interest of the overall country. I'm imagining that's what they are saying to themselves.
That is what is running through their mind.
That must be.
That is an evil thought that is running through their mind. Because if it's not evil, something that's affecting Nigerians negatively. Children are dying.
You see,
even adults are dying. And they are thinking of this. This policy has failed. It's a policy that is not acceptable to us as Nigerians. And this is a starting point for the president-elect. We can't wait to have a fresh breath of air in Nigeria. We can't wait for May 29 to come, for us to have new set of leaders with new ideas. This is my advice for the president-elect. Let them start right now, behind the scene, to assemble their economic team that will look critically into this issue of Emefiele and Buhari and all the failed economic team.
Well, it's not about the personality so much as about
I'm not talking about personality,
the institution.
but I'm talking about the economic team. Let us have a very good, solid economic team that will put Nigeria back on the right track.
We got to thank
economically.
you. I got to thank you now.
Thank you very much.
Comrade Fumi Sesi.
And I want to use this opportunity to tell Nigerians, come out and support NLC on Wednesday. Thank you. And nobody should go to work. We don't want to embarrass anybody. Don't go to work on Wednesday. If you want to go to work, we'll come back to tell you.
We're going to have to leave it there because the story, I'm just hoping, could change.
Let CBN, Central Bank, even before Monday, tomorrow is still Friday. Let us start to see that money. People are dying. Collecting 3,000 naira in the bank. That's ridiculous. That is a ridiculous amount and is totally unacceptable.
That's our program.
By Monday, let us be able to collect 150,000.
So please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.
Mommy, it is time for us to leave this place.
One of your earrings is missing.
No one will find it.
I'm not willing to take that chance.
Have a big plan, man.
What do you want?
I want a senior position at the bank.
If anything happens to me, go through the content of this envelope and check every single thing.
It's done. No one will ever find out the truth.
Never miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Kano State is not just the commercial capital of northern Nigeria. It is the seat of an ancient kingdom that has thrived for more than 1,000 years. It's home to people with a proud and glorious heritage, a dynamic and thriving state. Let's take you on a weekly ride through